we're getting ready for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Mike Tomlin and the Steelers are getting ready for the 49ers. He's getting ready for CMC in this offense. And here's what Tomlin yesterday had to say about that offense of the 49ers, specifically Christian McCaffrey.
Starting on the offensive side of the ball, man, I think it just starts with Christian McCaffrey, man. We just got to respect the dynamic playmaking ability that he has, both in the running game and in the passing game. It's very evident how significant his addition has been for them. I think prior to his addition, they were averaging 20 points a game. With him in 2022, they averaged 30 points a game. And so 10 points with the addition of one man. He's dynamic in the run game. He's dynamic in the passing game. We better be really careful about being matched up against him in space. He's a one-on-one space winner. They have a lot of one-on-one space winners, man. He might be the most dynamic one-on-one space winner at running back in the NFL. Kittles might be that at tight end. Deebo Samuels might be that at receiver. Their run-after ability with their offensive eligibles is really impressive.
Tomlin, yes, I love how he says Kittles and Samuels. He did that twice. You know, the Kittles. Kind of like that. It's like Najee Harris when he said, "Is that Rod Korchak from San Francisco Chronicles?"
When I hear Tomlin, I smile.
He gave like a 6 to 7 minute opening statement yesterday at his presser. Before I take questions, just want to say, and he just starts going off about his team. Now let me speak about the 49ers. And that was part of his dialogue in the openings. Then he goes, now I'll pause to take some questions. He needs looking around.
I think what he said is very profound because, look, the year prior, Deebo Samuel carried the 49ers, but they felt very limited.
Yep.
Not that he wasn't an amazing player, but like it just felt very predictable, the offense. And if you didn't have Deebo physically carrying you on the short stuff and handing the ball off to him, they didn't have a whole lot, and the field wasn't opened up. I think when you look at like Deebo's strengths, running between the tackles, he can do it a little, but that's not his bread and butter. Like his bread and butter is the power slant stuff where he's trucking a DB or even going head up with safeties, getting them on the outside, because I think we've underrated his speed. Right. Deebo's speed is probably the most underrated element of his game.
It's kind of like Jerry Rice in the open field, right?
That's
He's not the quickest. You know, when you think about 40 times, you think about 40 times clocking a guy. But when he gets out there and he gets ahead of steam, dude, he is untouchable, man. We got a reminder in that wild card game, but you're right. Early on, because we were going back and forth. I remember last season, going back and forth. You said, man, just put Deebo at running back. I didn't get the most out of him. I was like, well, you only got one receiver, Brandon Ayuk. You got to figure something out. And that's where Christian McCaffrey came into play to open Deebo back up. And now Deebo, you know, he may be the third option in this offense. Who knows? I mean, look, that's the great thing about this offense. You don't have a 1, 2, 3, or 4. He's got ballers. And it's like any given play, these ballers can take one to the house. Even Ayuk, he's part of the Yak Bros. I think we underrate how well he plays after the catch or how well he runs after the catch.
Yeah, but, and all these guys are important. CMC to me is the most important. And I'm sure we can have a healthy debate on each guy and what they bring to the table. But the evidence is so clear what he does in this system. Like he's perfect for the one-cut system. As a running back, I think his vision is underrated. His toughness is underrated. I think his ability to be decisive with that one cut. Like he had a couple of complete misdirections that I don't think were there when they drew it up on the whiteboard, but he created a cutback opportunity. And then his underrated speed to accelerate past guys is unbelievable, and then his toughness just running through tackles, and that's before we even get to him as a pass catcher.
No doubt. He's got good hands there. Let's go to
it's kind of crazy that we argued about Jeff Wilson Jr. as a fan base. Not that Jeff Wilson Jr. isn't a solid player. He is.
Right.
But, like, there's levels. Christian McCaffrey is so much infinitely more important as an NFL player than Jeff Wilson Jr. And it's not disrespect to him, but like once you have one of those elite guys, you almost can't look at a Jeff Wilson Jr. the same.
I'm looking at these top teams, right? We can stick on running backs for a second before we play this Tomlin Cup. But I'm looking at the top teams in the league. And we're kicking and screaming about having home run hitters. I always believe in having a home run hitter at running back. You don't think the Raiders feel better with Josh Jacobs?
100%.
Right? Buffalo is ready to unleash James Cook.
How I think of Daniel Jones in New York is based off Saquon.
Exactly. The New York Jets signing Dalvin Cook. Why do they make that an emphasis for their offense? They go get a home run hitter, right? The Miami Dolphins trying to trade for Jonathan Taylor. Why? Because having a home run hitter in the backfield helps out everybody. The Steelers, why they drafted Najee Harris. The Browns, why they have Nick Chubb. The Ravens, why they have a stable of running backs in J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. And, of course, Lamar Jackson, who can be a runner. The Bengals, yeah, Joe Mixon doesn't have the same juice, but he's a threat alongside Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Boyd inside.
Did you watch the Super Bowl?
Pacheco.
He was very impressive last year.
Pacheco's very good. Jacksonville with Travis Etienne.
I love him.
He's a baller. So what these home run hitters do in the backfield, sure, the league doesn't want to pay these running backs, but damn, I bet you half these teams are like, I'm tired of seeing 8 in the box. I'm tired of seeing 5 defenders. When you have a Christian McCaffrey in the backfield, you have to honor him.
Yeah.
And you have to follow him everywhere you go. And you bet not get him matched up on the middle linebacker or you will get burned for a big-time play, a big-time chunk play. So I never got the process of why people say, oh, you could just plug and play any running back out there. Really? I was in Chicago.
Yeah.
Elijah Mitchell went down, and the Niners had no running game. Jeff Wilson Jr. was not rolling.
Well, the thing that they really have to monitor this year is, keep those overall touches in a reasonable spot. I think anything more than 25 per game, I'm talking about overall touches. Right. I think you start when you look at the longevity of the season and with now there's 18 weeks, right. And then you may not get the bye, so you're playing that extra playoff game where in years past you could get the second seed and get up. You got to minimize his touches. Not that you want him down in the 15 range. No one does. To win, you need him at 25. But, like, when you start getting close to 30 touches a game overall, I think then you start flirting with danger. And what do those 30 look like? Are they between the tackle 30s? Or are they out on the edges where he can step out of bounds and avoid a hit?
Well, it depends on the game flow, right?
Yes.
It depends on the game flow. If he's your clear-cut option in that game, specific on the game plan, depending on the opponent, he may see 30 touches. I think the Niners will love to keep that magic number. Say if you get about 60 to 70 plays a game, you probably want them at 20 to 25 max.
Yes.
20. I think 15 to 20 is mandatory for Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, 15 is like
15 to 20 is mandatory.
15 to me is like, without question, even in a blowout, he's getting 15 touches just to get to that blowout status.
But don't forget, Shanahan loves to get to that 30 carry mark.
Yes.
So that's where the backups come into play, whether it's Elijah Mitchell, whether it's Mason. We'll see. And we'll see about TDP, Ty Davis Price, how well he's running the ball here.
Iffy on him.
It's mandatory that the Niners get to that 30. For Shanahan, it's mandatory that they get to that 30 carry mark. But with McCaffrey, 15 to 20 carries a game, I think is or at least touches. I want to say touches because it could come in the pass game. Deebo Samuel's another guy where I need 7 to 10 touches a game because he can make something happen. Brandon Ayuk needs 6 to 8 targets a game. Kittle needs 6 to 8 targets a game. So you got all these playmakers, and when you control the offense like that, I think it all bases off of McCaffrey. It makes everybody's job easier. Again, I don't get why people like Austin Eckler with the Chargers. You don't think Justin Herbert's like, yo, we need this guy. We need this guy right now. Denver's looking for a running back. So I never got the notion over the years about not paying running backs or just saying that running backs don't matter. Go look at Green Bay with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. You don't think Jordan Love's thinking to himself, boy, I got 2 bulldogs behind me. Now I can play action pass and go to Christian Watson over the top.
Well, I think there's like 2 separate conversations because the one you're making is the point that I don't think anyone should debate. Running backs do matter. When do you pay them? How much do you pay them? Separate conversation.
Well, it depends on the player, right?
Exactly.
Like Christian McCaffrey, you bite the bullet and pay him. Derrick Henry, you bite the bullet and pay him.
You know what's funny is Derrick Henry, everyone's like, he had a down year last year.
I know.
He had like 1,700 yards last year.
I know, with no wide receivers.
A down year. Oh, well, look at
with
the
no wide receivers
play.
and no quarterbacks, and he still ran for 1,700.
I mean, come on, man. Like, and I'm not saying that he's in his prime. Like, everyone would agree he's probably, on the back 9. But, like, he had like 1,700 yards last year.
Yeah, no doubt.
And we're acting like he's done.
Hey, it's kind of wild. I took him in the league, too. I don't care. Henry's that dude.
I love Derrick Henry.
209.
A yard from my life, all time, I might take Derrick Henry. It's a short list.
Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn's up there.
Earl Campbell. Walter Payton.
Yeah, I'm not denying all those. I think, but that's how great I think of Derrick Henry. I put him in that echelon.
Yeah, no doubt. Is it DEO or DO in Texas? DO, Texas. What's happening, man? You're on the roast.
Hey, what's going on, man? I called before here. I'm holding it down in Texas for Niner gang, man. I just want to say that, man, we have enough to win, bro. Like, I mean, I don't know how many players we had on the top 100. Most of them on offense. I think, man, we go there. Everybody does their job, man. We should have no problem, man. Now later on down the line, I don't know, but this week, man, like Pittsburgh's tough, but at the end of the day, we're Super Bowl contender, man. We got enough pieces that we should, we shouldn't be worried about this. You know what I mean?
Right, no doubt. Pittsburgh. What does Dio? What's the one concern about the Steelers, or what's something? Actually, scratch that. What are you excited about mostly when it comes to the 49ers?
Man, I just think if there's one small thing, guys, because I love y'all, man. I listen to y'all religiously. If there's one small thing that do concern me, it's wherever T.J. Watt lines up. You know what I mean? Like, if he's going to line up on the opposite side of Trent, might be an issue. You know what I mean? Like, it might, because he can wreck a game. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that might be the only thing that might concern me. But as far as the offense is concerned, I mean, I think that we have enough playmakers. I mean, they have a great defense. I mean, I think it's underrated.
Yep.
But I mean, at the end of the day, man, with the Niners, we've been in the championship game the last 3 years. I think we have enough to win.